Namaste and very hearty welcome to all of you to the second session of Life Lessons in High Intensity Thursday Satsang. So, this series is titled as Life Lessons from the Great People. Last time in session 1, we understood the life lessons Lakshman learned from Ravan who was dying. So, similar manner, today we are going to learn the life lesson from Bhisma Pitamah who delivered this life lesson to Yudhishthir and Pandavas. All Pandavas, 5 Pandavas were there, but this was addressed to Yudhishthir because he was the king. And immediately after this, he left his body. So, all great people, this was the tradition that whatever lessons you have learned, your life lessons you pass on to the next generation. All the knowledge that you have, the essence of the knowledge should be passed on to the next generation. Why should it be done? Because that is one of the way that leads to liberation. It is said that because of Bhishma's confessions, right doings, wrong doings, everything, he talked in front of Krishna. And it is said that he waited up to the Uttarayan, when the sun starts moving to the north direction, Makar Sankranti. And he got liberated. Moksha Prapti hua, Bhisma Pitamah. So very interesting story. So it all started with King Santanu. King Santanu was roaming on the beach of Ganges and a great beautiful lady appeared who was Ganga, the river, Ganges river. Shantanu falls in love and proposes for the marriage and Ganga agrees but with the condition that he will not question of what he does, what she does. And the story says that Shantanu madly fell in love with her, so he agreed to the condition that he will not question about his or whatever she does. He will not question. So after the marriage, everything went well. She behaved very nicely, but when the child was born, she dispersed the child into the water, Ganges water, and the child died. So one by one, 7 children were put into the river, and they died. Eighth child, she was about to go, and Shantanu could not bear it. So he starts questioning Ganga, why are you doing this thing? So you remember my condition. Now that you are asking, I will leave you. But before leaving, I will tell you that I had decided to give birth to Ashtavasu, 8 Vasus, and 7 Vasus have got liberated because only thing that was that they had to take the birth from the mother's womb. They have done it and they are liberated. But the last one seems to be having some karma. So you have asked for the question. Now I will not do what I had been doing. This child will live, but I will not be with you. I will go. And Ganga disappears into the river and takes Devavrat, the name of Bhisma, earlier name. And after a few years, she comes back. Devavrat was grown up and very nice build, handsome guy, very much knowledgeable, very skillful in all the weaponry and all. And Shantanu became very, very happy. But Ganga disappeared. So this is the story. Devavrat, the name of the Bhishma as a child was, and he learned the lessons from Vasishtha Rishi and Parsuram. So weaponry he learned from Parsuram and the scriptures he learned from Vasishtha Rishi. So Parsuram was a very powerful person and he became one of the best warrior of that time. To the extent that it is said that when the Guru challenged him to fight with him, both of them fought for 21 days and nobody would lose the battle because Both were equally great. So Devavrat, as a disciple of Parsuram, became as good as Parsuram in weaponry, in the use of the weapons and the warfare tactics, warfare technology. And everything was going well. But Shantanu saw another very beautiful woman and fell in love. And he proposed her. So he said, okay, you talk to my father. And the father was a boatman. And boatman puts Navi. He put the condition that yes, I will get you my daughter married to you, but one condition that her children will become the king, not anybody else. If you agree to that, then only I will get you married with my daughter. That was the condition by the boatman, the Navi. So he became very sad and came back to the palace, and Devrat saw his father very unhappy. And he asked what happened. He said, I can't tell you. There is something very tricky, and I'm not finding the solution. That's why I'm unhappy. So Devrat knew the ministers and asked the ministers, and they told that your father is in love with a woman. And this is the condition from that girl's father. He said, this is such a simple thing. Why he is so worried about it? So he goes to the boatman and says that if that is your condition, then I will decide not to get married. So my children will not be there, and only your daughter's children will be there to take over the king's chair. And that is the Bhisma Pratigna. He said that I'll remain celibate lifetime. I will not marry. But I will take care of the Rajgadi, the king's chair. I will take care. So I'll be committed to the protection, but I will not become the king. I will not marry, remain celibate lifetime, and do my dharma. So that becomes the Bhisma Pratigna, very powerful oath. And from that day onward, he became known as Bhisma, a very strong, difficult oath is called Bhisma. Because he took that Bhisma oath, he became known as a Bhisma because he was a grandfather. Over the period of time, the children were born, and their children were born, and that became Pandu, and then Pandu's children, and all the Devata's children, and all that's how the Pandavas were born. And Dhritarashtra was there, and he married to Gandhari, and the Kauravas were born. Afterward, the story is well, everybody knows. So we are talking about Bhisma. That's why the origin of the Bhisma, how he, what happened to him, what was his childhood conditioning, how he shaped his life with his oath, the Pratigya, and that's how he became the Bhisma. And he was expert into many fields. He was extremely powerful as far as the war front is concerned, warfare is concerned. He knew almost all the weapons. Nobody could defeat him. He was so popular. Nobody could dare to fight with him. Everybody knew that he is that capable person. So everything was going well. And once it happened that king of Kashi announces the Swamvar for his three daughters, very beautiful daughters, Amba, Ambika, and Ambalika. And he invited everybody, but he did not invite this Kuruvansh Bhisma, the king that was there that time, Dhritarashtra. And so this Bhisma felt very insulted. And he said, I will go. And forcefully, he took away these three daughters. And nobody could do anything. Single handedly, he fought the king of Kashi, and all those guests who were there who appeared for the Swayamvar. Bhisma single-handedly fought with all of them, defeated them, and took away these three girls with him and came back to the kingdom. So next day, Amba says that I have already decided mentally to marry Shalya Rajkumar. I'm in love with him. So Bhisma, being a very dharmic person, he says, if that is already the case, then respectfully, I will take you to the Salyaraj. You get married. I will not interfere in your life. Other two girls, let them be here. So Bhishma arranges Amba's travel to Salyaraj. She thought that he will marry. But you see, his mind changed. His argument was, because you have been forcefully taken away by Bhishma, I can't marry you. The sentence was in Hindi, भीष्म ने तुम्हारा हरण किया है, जबरदस्ती उठा के लेके गया, अब मैं तुम्हारे साथ शादी नहीं कर सकता. And she felt very, very bad because she was really in love with him. So she comes back to the Bhishma and argues, see, this is very bad. All these things happen. I can't tolerate this thing. Now you marry me because you did all these things. Bhishma says, sorry, I can't marry because I have taken the pratigya, the oath. I can't marry. So she starts doing all the sadhana and all and get the boon from the devatas and all, but no devata could afford to give any boon against the Bhisma because she wanted to kill Bhisma for all this trouble that he has given. Ultimately, she decided to pray Lord Shiva. And she did a very strong, very long tapas, and it says that Shiva appeared and asked for the boon. And she said, by only one purpose of my life, that I want the death of Bhishma, nothing else, because he has troubled me, he has insulted me. My life is spoiled because of him. Shiva says, that is not possible, but I will give you the boon that in your next life you will be born and you will become the reason for the death of Vishnu. Knowing this thing, she jumped into the fire and disappeared. And she was born as Srikhandi, the eunuch. And he became the reason for the death of Bhishma in the war. So the war was going on, and Bhisma Pitamah was the first person leading the Kaurava team. And because he had Ishamriti Vardhan, nobody could kill him. Nobody could defeat him because he's such a powerful warrior. And he was killing at least 10,000 people of Pandava's camp every day. And Krishna saw that the Pandavas will be defeated if this man continues to be the leader of the opposition. So Krishna talks to him that you are supporting Adharma. You know Pandava should win for the right reason, for the Satya, for the truth. But you are the hindrance in the whole process. And you must do something about it. He says, I can't be defeated. As long as I'm there, I will keep fighting. That's my Kshatriya Dharma. I'll keep fighting. But I'm telling you, Krishna, that my death is written because of Amba. And Amba is born as a Srikhandi. So if Amba comes in front of me, I will drop the weapons and then you can do whatever you want. You can kill me or arrange to get killed. So Krishna knew this thing and Shikhandi appeared, and on the war front next day, Shikhandi was standing in front of Arjun and challenged Bhishma. Bhishma knew that this is Amba from the previous lifetime, and Bhishma had this oath that he will not lift the weapons in front of a woman. And Shikhandi was Amba, and he knew, Bhishma knew she's a woman. So he stopped. And in the meanwhile, the behind Shikhandi was Arjuna, and he started shooting the arrows, and Bhishma fell down on the Bansaya, bed of arrows. And he remained there for 18 days. And after that 18 days, the war was over. Start to end. The 18 days it said the war was over. But Bhisma remained on the bed of arrows for 58 days total. After he fell on the bed of arrows, he stayed there for 58 days without leaving the body. Because he was waiting for the Makar Sankranti, Uttarayan. When the sun starts moving toward the north direction, it is said that if somebody leaves the body, will get the moksha. And because he has Ishamriti Vardhan, he could die as per his wish, so he continued to stay. And he also wanted to see what happened to the death, what happened to the war, because he was a leader and he was interested in knowing ultimately what happens. So Dronacharya was killed, Karna was killed, Duryodhana was killed, all the Kauravas were killed. So he was knowing the news every day and understanding that all of us, means his side, Dronacharya, Karna, all supported Kauravas and they were on the wrong side, Dharma. They were favoring Adharma and they had to die. He knew because he was a very dharmic person. Krishna asked him, why are you supporting Adharma? You know, Pitamah, that you are supporting Adharma. Come and fight in favor of Pandavas. He says, sorry, I can't do that because I'm eating the food supplied by Duryodhana. And my mind does not allow me. So, with whom you are associated, with whom you are eating, whose food you are eating, all these things are going to affect your thinking process. Vishnu was a great man, but he said, sorry, I can't decide that. And he continued to fight in favor of Kauravas. Of course, his oath was also there. Krishna said, you should break your oath because you are not taking care of the people, you are just taking care of the chair. That's not the right thing. But all the arguments of Krishna failed, and Bhisma still continued to fight in favor of Kauravas. Bhisma was high EQ person. He understood the emotions. He understood the nature of human being. But somewhere, as far as the SQ is concerned, SQ means spiritual quotient. He was lower on SQ, spiritual quotient. See, what is SQ? What is spiritual quotient? It's based on the spiritual intelligence. It is called law-making, law-breaking intelligence. Krishna was very high on SQ, spiritual quotient based on spiritual intelligence. Why? Krishna also took an oath right in the beginning of Mahabharata war that he will not touch the weapon, he will not lift the weapon. But you see, when Bhisma started killing 10,000 people in a day, and he saw that Arjuna is still seeing Pitamah in Bhishma, and he is not killing, so he challenges Arjuna. You see, you are not doing your job properly. Do you think that I can't do it? I can do it. So he goes out with his Sudarshan Chakra and tells Bhisma Pitamah, Saudan, I'll kill you. So Bhisma Pitamah comes down with the folded hand. And he said, you can, but tell me, you have taken the oath. Why did you break your oath? There must be something very serious. I want to know. After that, you can kill me. So there's a very beautiful dialogue, and we can learn a lot from that. Krishna says, my oath is not bigger than Dharma. For the protection of Dharma, I can break my oath. I can kill you. My oath is not important. Protection of Dharma is important. And he said, you have taken your oath and you are favoring adharma, so I will kill you. But in the meanwhile, Arjuna came down. He said, no, 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 I will do my job, Krishna. You don't kill Bhisma Pitamah. It's not your job. You have decided not to lift the weapon. I will do my job. So Krishna says, okay, and he takes back his Sudarshan Chakra. But in one act, he taught fantastic lessons to Bhisma Pitamah, that you can't be fighting against the Dharma. You will lose, you will be killed. And he taught a very good lesson to Arjuna that you have to do your duty. You can't see your relatives in opponents. You are a warrior. As a warrior, you should kill your opponent. That's your dharma. If you are low EQ person, Arjuna, you must learn emotional intelligence and improve your EQ. That was the message. Arjuna was a low EQ person. He would start crying on the war front also. Arjuna was emotionally a weak person. Okay, many times he cried. Many times he wanted to run away. Every time Krishna brought him back. Krishna was very high EQ, very high SQ person. One of the best, highest SQ person. So he was very balanced in all the situations, but Arjuna was like not at all balanced many times. But because Krishna was there, he was saved and he learned lots of lessons. Arjuna learns lots of lessons from Krishna. In one of the evening, we'll discuss about that. Today, what are the lessons we can learn from Bhisma? So Bhisma Pitamah was dying. He was waiting for the Uttarayan. The sun start moving on the north direction. And so that he can get moksha. He had waited for that. And that is where Krishna tells Pandavas, Yudhishthir, so you are a king and Pitamah will leave his body tomorrow. So go and ask him and learn the lessons. So Pandava says, Yudhishthir says, okay, we'll go, you also come along. So Krishna and 5 Pandavas, they go to Bhisma. And Bhisma was also a very evolved soul. He said, Krishna, I knew you will come because I'm about to leave my body. With a sun rising tomorrow, I will leave my body. And he tells Krishna, can you clean up my eyes? Can you, so that I can see the Samrat Yudhishthir, new king. I want to see. And Krishna says, sure. So he cleans the tears from his eyes and he calls Yudhishthir, and Bhishma looks at him and congratulates him for becoming the king. That's a tradition. The opposite party has won and he has become a king. So Bhishma congratulates. And that is time Krishna proposes that Yudhishthir has become the Chakravarti, Samrat, Raja, the king, and he must learn the lessons from you. You are such an expert person in so many fields. Why don't you teach all the lessons before you leave your body? And Bhishma starts saying, what a wonderful opportunity. It will help me to get liberated. And he starts sharing the lessons. Are you all ready for that? So this was the background story of lessons. So he says that I am a defeated warrior. Naturally, he was. That's a fact. He starts with a fact. And he says that I made lots of mistakes. In front of Krishna, he started repentance. He said that because I did not act during the Draupadi Vastraharan, it is me who is responsible for the war. I did not prevent Duryodhan, Shakuni and all during the Lakshagra event, so it's me who is responsible for this. I had all the capacity and I was the authority. I would have done that, but I didn't do for whatever reason. So he was repenting in front of Krishna. Do you know the great thing that Bhishma did? Krishna was a enlightened person and avatar of Vishnu, and Vishnu for sure knew it and respected. And as he started talking his all wrongdoings or inaction, not that he did bad actions, but it was his inaction, not acting at the right time, not deciding the right time. And that is the way he has built the bad karma. He started repenting in front of Pandavas and Krishna. Do you know the secret of it? Any time you speak out your karma in front of people, in the presence of the spiritual master, high SQ person like Krishna, all your karmas get deleted instantly. This is one of the biggest secret of law of karma. Your karmas get deleted instantly if you open up your karma in front of people and do the repentance. Say that this is the wrong thing I did. And if the great SQ person like Krishna is there, instantly those karmic files get deleted. So before he started giving the lessons to the king Yudhishthira, he first started doing the repentance. He said, it's because of me that the war happened. It is because of the me that the nation was divided. The division of the nations happened because of me. All the wrong things happened because of my inaction. And he was repenting in a big way. A very emotional scene was there. But the great thing that was happening was he was preparing for the moksha. He was taking the full advantage of the presence of Lord Krishna. So he spell out all his bad karmas, inactions, wrongdoings, and deleted all his karmic files. And he was a very highly aware person. Even though his SQ was low, but it was not that low that he could not understand. He knew the rules of SQ, the spiritual intelligence. He knew what is to be done. And even on the bed of arrows, he was quite aware while dying. So he took the advantage and deleted all his karmic files. Okay, these are some of the best lessons I learned from Bhisma for Karmakshala. And in many of our camps, we use this method. You come in front of the group, and whatever bad doings are there, you spell out, you talk out, you do the repentance, and instantly those karmas get deleted. This is one of the superb method of deleting your karma. But you know which karmas will get deleted? Only those karmas that you know. But there may be many past karmas which you don't know. Those will not get deleted. Only those karma which you know and you spell out, you speak out. Those karmas for sure will get deleted. So after this session of deleting the karma was over, and Krishna requests again, please give the lessons to Yudhishthira. Krishna did not interfere. He allowed Bhisma Pitamah to spell out. Why? Because he wanted Pandavas to learn. You see, if you do the wrong things, you will do the repentance at the end. अगर आप गलत करोगे तो जीवन के अंत में पछताना पड़ेगा. Pandavas were seeing that Bhisma Pitamah was repenting at the end of the life. Bhisma पछतावा कर रहे हैं, पछता रहे हैं एंड में. सो जो भी व्यक्ति गलत कर्म करेगा उसको अंत में पछताना पड़ेगा. इफ यू डू समथिंग रॉन्ग यू हैव टू रिपेंट एट द एंड ऑफ द लाइफ. Pandavas learned that lesson, not to do anything wrong. When you are doing karma, be aware. With awareness, if you do the karma, you don't build the karma. Do you know that? That's another big lesson. But if you do something in unawareness, if you do something in ignorance, if you do something just to avoid your responsibility, if you do something to escape from your responsibility, you definitely build the karma. And Bhishma knew. See, when Dusasan was pulling the clothes away, pulling the sari of Draupadi, and it is said that she was menstruating that day, and it was a very humiliating act for any woman. Draupadi was the daughter-in-law, and Bhisma Pitamah, Dronacharya, Guru Dronacharya, and Kulguru Kripacharya, all three were available in the conference room that time. and this act happened in front of them. All three had the authority to stop Dushasan doing the wrong deed of pulling the sari of Draupadi. But you see, all three were dependent on the kingdom for their survival. Guru Dronacharya was a paid servant of the kingdom. Kulguru Kripacharya was getting payment from them. And Bhisma had taken the oath to support the kingdom and he will not go against. So all three kept quiet. So when you don't act in a right manner, when the need of action is there, and if you don't act, that is called akarma. Akarma means not doing your action. Karma is action. Akarma is not doing your action. So if you don't do your action at the right time, what you are supposed to do, you build very bad karma. So Bhishma built very bad karma by not telling Dushasan to stop doing the wrong deeds. And he knew, so he did the repentance of all these things and deleted those karmic things. But he was a Vasu, Ashtavasu, he was one of them. So background was very clear. Only sin that he had done as the Ashtavasu, all the 7 Vasus, how did they clear up? They had to only born through the mother's womb and die. That's it. But because Bhishma was born and Shantanu asked Ganga, and there is a story that you heard in the beginning, Bhishma was not put into the water by Ganga and he had to live, and he lived long. And he built the karma. But he was aware and he knew whatever karma he had built. So he did it. There was nothing in his Sanchita. That's how he got the moksha. Okay. So after this episode was over, he started giving the lessons to Yudhishthira. Okay, now come to the lessons. Okay, one by one, we'll share, we'll understand. Lifetime's learning, lifetime's understanding. So the war was over and Yudhishthir and all the Pandavas were very sad because they killed 100 cousins, they killed Guru Dronacharya, they also killed almost Bhisma Pitamah. So much of death they saw, so much of destruction. So Yudhishthir as a king was not in a mood to celebrate his coronation ceremony that happens, the king gets established. So, but he was very sad and he had a lot of remorse because of all the bloodshed and the violence that they had seen, and all their relatives, everybody was killed. So there was no joy in Yudhishthira's mind of becoming a king. And very natural because he was a very dharmic person. Yudhishthir was son of Yamaraj, very much well known for his dharmic attitude. So a lot of sadness and remorse was there and he was not enjoying. And Bhisma started saying the lessons of his life. The first lesson that he said was Raj Dharma, the duty of a king. And Bhisma says, Raja राष्ट्र के लिए होता है, राष्ट्र राजा के लिए नहीं. The English translation that I have done is, king should be willing to sacrifice his life for the country. King is for the country. Country is not for the king. So the king should be willing to sacrifice his life for the country, for the people. Bhisma says, I did not act properly, so the country was divided because I wanted to avoid the war between Pandavas and Kauravas. But Yudhishthir, if any such things happen to you, you don't be worried of going for the war rather than dividing the nation. He says going for the war is a better option. That is a better option because the sin of dividing the motherland, The sin of dividing the country is much bad. It's the worst. So one should not do that. Because he had done the wrong thing, he understood. So this was a very mature life lesson coming from Bhisma. See, lessons come this way. If you have done something right and you know it was a right action, you can teach. If you have done something wrong and you have learned that this was a wrong action because of which the troubles happen, that also you can teach. That never do such thing because I have suffered, you will also suffer. And that's the wrong thing. Because Bhishma had done the wrong thing of supporting the adharma, favoring the untruth, favoring wrong people. Kauravas were wrong people, favoring wrong values. Value system of them was so all that wrong he had done. He had he's saying that if you become a king, even if you have to fight the war, go on the battlefield, but don't divide the country, don't divide the people. Now you see, even though he's telling Yudhishthir as a king, suppose you are a businessman, you are a factory owner, you are heading the organization as a CEO, or you are a team leader. You are a king of your team. If you are a CEO of a company, you are a king, you are a leader. If you are a business owner, you are the leader, you are the king. So these lessons are applicable to all of us. Take care of team, take care of people. It demands to sacrifice yourself, your life. Even that is to be done to take care of the country. So politician or the prime minister can lose his chair, that is sacrificing his chair for the betterment of the country. That is the lesson. Sacrifice. The king should be willing to sacrifice everything for the betterment of the people. That is the first lesson. Okay, there is a question which is related, so I'll answer now. Ratna is asking, however, Guruji, when we try to correct someone or give some advice, they take it personally and come back with vengeance, ego. So should we stop them or mind our own business? You see, when you give advice to somebody on your own, you are going to face all those things. Here, Bhisma Pitamah on his own did not go to give the advice to the Pandavas. It is the Pandavas who went to Bhisma Pitamah, and Krishna, as a representative, requested Bhisma Pitamah multiple times. And when they were ready to listen and the atmosphere is absolutely fine, only then Bhisma Pitamah started talking. So here the situation is different. See, when you give unwanted advice to somebody, nobody will take it and they will go against you. First of all, they will not take the advice, they will go against you. That's what Ratna is talking about. That's bound to be there. See, I learned this lesson much early. Okay. Because of the Guru Kripa, I knew lots of things, even my younger days. And I knew something is going wrong, and I will feel so bad in my heart, and I will rush to protect somebody, and the people will behave like a mad and throw me out. Why? Unwanted advice. Nobody want to take. I learned the lesson. Then I made it a point that as a professional, I will not give unwanted advice to anybody. Let people apply, let people make advance payment 100%. Then only I will start thinking of solving that problem. And I follow even today. So I don't give any unwanted advice to anybody because modern days people don't listen to your advice unless they pay and they wait. Okay. So when the time is right, only then the advice should be given. And this is the right lesson. Bhishma also taught this time. Okay. I hope I answered your question, Ratna. Okay. Tushar is asking, even Chanakya advised this in his Arthashastra book. The first mantra is प्रजा सुखम प्रज्ञा प्रजा आमच्या हिते हित. ठीक है. I don't know the exact श्लोका, but प्रजा के सुख में राजा का सुख है, प्रजा के हित में राजा का हित है. That is what is the meaning of it, which is true. So this is the lesson given by Bhisma to Yudhishthira the king, and Tushar is saying that Chanakya also gave the same lesson. So whatever Bhisma talks is known as a Bhisma Niti. Why? Bhisma had certain attitude which was good. He learned a lot of lessons. So at the end moment, just before leaving his body, he gives out this knowledge, and that knowledge was compiled by Pandavas. It was given in front of Lord Krishna, and that became the Bhisma Niti. It became a Shastra, Bhisma Niti. Like we have Chanakya Niti, we have Vidur Niti, we have Krishna Niti. You know, in my earlier days when I was with Chinmay Mission, Swami Chinmayaji used to talk, and I studied all these books. I studied the Krishna Niti, I studied Chanakya Niti deeply, Vidur Niti, Bhisma Niti, and those are the life lessons. They really influenced my life in a big way much early. That's why I thought that we must talk about the life lessons. All our members, you know, without suffering, you can learn the lessons from somebody in a very simple manner, staying at home, comfortably starting your laptop and listen. And that too, if you can't do, the recordings will be provided and the videos are available free of cost. Anybody can learn the lessons. It's only the choice. And I'm going to continue this series. We are going to learn the lessons from many, many great people. Okay, Pratyush is asking, Guruji, both Ravana and Bhisma Pitamah are well versed in scriptures, so they must have experienced pure awareness. But still, they did a lot of mistakes. Is it possible for a seeker to experience pure awareness and even after that do many mistakes like they did? Very much possible. Ravana was a great man, learned man, Pandit, great seeker, great sadhak, very powerful. But he was not settled in pure awareness and pure understanding. Ravana's understanding was mistaken. So the ego was taking over on and off. Bhisma Pitama was a high EQ person, but Bhisma Pitama was low SQ person. He took his oath and he stuck to his oath. That shows that he was a low SQ person. He would have broken his oath for dharma. And that's where he failed. And he knew. And that's why he did the repentance in front of Krishna. That I failed to break my oath and continue with my oath because that was the right thing to do in certain contexts, but it was wrong in certain contexts, and he could not decide in favor of dharma when the context changed. Krishna taught him the lesson. Krishna was a high SQ person. Krishna was settled in the awareness and understanding. So in that sense, Bhisma was not settled. Bhisma was on and off. Ravana was also on and off, and the ego was appearing again and again. So Ravana is considered as an egoist person, not as an enlightened being. Pandit, learned, knowledgeable, but not settled in enlightenment. So Pratyush, Ravana definitely did not make it to the pure awareness. Bhisma did, but he was not settled in pure awareness. It was like on and off. Why? Because the food that he was eating was coming from Duryodhana. Food influences. And if you are supporting the wrong people, if you are in the company of the wrong people, those vibrations rub onto you, and that is where Bhisma failed. So both were not up to the mark as far as the pure awareness and settled understanding is concerned. Both were low on the scale. Okay. See, those days there were no scales that I have designed now, but if you use my scales for Ravana and Bhisma, both will be scoring low. Krishna will score highest. Okay, Krishna Patel is here. She is asking, dear Guruji, what if you don't know if your action or decision is good karma? Sometimes not clear what the right action or inaction is, how to be aware in action. You see, this is exactly the point. So when Krishna comes with the Sudarshan Chakra and runs to kill Bhisma, Bhisma folds his hand to Krishna. Krishna, I know you are avatar of Vishnu and you can kill me, and I'll be very happy if you kill, because if you get killed by God, you get moksha. See, Ravana knew and Bhisma also knew. So that much knowledge they had. But tell me, why you break your oath? You had taken oath not to take Sudarshan Chakra, your weapon. Why did you break your oath? Tell me that and then kill me. I don't mind. I'll be happy if you kill me. Because he was a knowledgeable person, he knew. And Krishna says, you have supported the wrong people. You are in favor of adharma. That is why I am breaking my oath, because dharma is more important than my oath. And you did not understand that lesson because of your ignorance. So you should be killed. I should punish. That is the question. Krishna Patel, you are saying, what if you don't know if your action or decision is good karma? That's your ignorance. You are responsible for that. Learn. Learn from the rishis. Learn from the masters. If you are ignorant, that's not an excuse. Opportunities are available. If you are not learning, it's your fault. You will build bad karma because you don't know. All the bad karmas are built because of the ignorance. And if you stay ignorant, it's your fault. You'll be caught up into the circle of birth and death. And that's what happened to most of the people. Only few people have attitude of learning. They are willing to learn the life lessons. And those people will develop that kind of an awareness. See, today there is no dearth of learning opportunities. This meeting was announced openly. 400 plus people are there on Thursday Satsang, where I had posted this thing, right? 400 plus people are there. So for sure they know about this. Out of 400 people, right now 54 people are there who are attending live. Of course, recordings are seen by more than 500 people every time, I know. So which means what? About 500 people in Prem Sangha are learning these lessons regularly. Other people are also learning on and off. But that percentage is very small. And I'm talking of good people, learned people. In Prem Sangha, all are educated, good, learned people. So, attitude of learning is so rare. 10% people are attending. Okay. So, Krishna, your question is, anything that comes out of ignorance, you will build the karma, bad karma. So, ignorance is the root cause of all evil. अविद्या सभी तकलीफों की जड़ है. Vidya means ignorance is the root cause of all your troubles. And you are responsible for that. You can't say, oh, I don't know. See, what is this case? See, on the road, the board is there one way. Okay. But suppose you enter the road from the wrong side, which was the exit side. And you know, the traffic police always there standing. And he catches you. You said, but you see, I don't know. If you tell traffic police that you don't know that this is one way and you have entered the wrong side, well, that's not an excuse. He says, "Pauti to katalo." So ignorance of the law is but an excuse, right? Same thing with the law of karma. If you are ignorant, you are not learning, well, that's not an excuse. You have to learn. So that's the answer to Krishna Patel's question. Bhisma Pitamah was not ignorant in that sense. He was a very knowledgeable people. He knew, but because of the wrong oath, the oath itself was not wrong. In that context, it was right. See, oath of taking brahmacharya was not wrong. It was very good. Oath was taken to protect his father. That was also not bad. Son sacrificing for the father is dharmic. oath of protecting the country was not bad. That was dharmic. But when the context changed, he would have broken that oath and taken the stand in favor of dharma. That is where he missed out. And it was not ignorance. He knew, but he did not take decision. He did not take action. That is where he failed. And that's exactly the lesson he is teaching to the King Yudhishthira. Take action. Take decision. Take action. Bhisma failed to take a decision, make a action. That is the lesson. As a king, you should be vigilant all the time. And even if you have to break your oath, take decision in favor of dharma. Otherwise, you will be defeated, because anything which is in favor of adharma will be defeated. That's exactly the lesson that Bhisma is teaching. All right. He says, don't blame past events that have happened, because he knew that Yudhishthira was having a lot of sadness, remorse, and he may not get into the good governance mode because mentally he was not ready to become the king. Actually, he wanted to become sannyasi, he wanted to run away. But everybody insisted. It was Vyas Muni, Vyas Rishi, Mercy Vyas, who insisted that Yudhishthir must become the king. And Lord Krishna also insisted, and somehow he said, okay, fine, all of you are learned people, you are telling me, so I'll become. Still, there was so much of sadness and remorse in the minds of all the Pandavas, including Yudhishthira. He was not really willingly getting into the king's board. And knowing this, Bhisma says, past events, whatever may be, past conditions, what conditions you got your chair as a king? You won the election, you got the kingdom, you got the prime minister's seat. Don't blame the past events and the past governance. Okay, now it's your baby, you take care of it. So blaming the past king, past events, past decisions is wrong. This is a very clear-cut lesson that Bhisma gives. See, Prime Minister, if starts saying that, I took over in such thing, the economy is in very bad shape, there are hardly any funds available, and I can't help because of the past governance. We should know. That's not allowed. That's not the good king. You take your decisions and start improving. Don't waste your time in blaming the past government or the governance. Okay. Corollary lesson Bhisma says is bring about the change in your governance as per the new context, as per the new conditions right now, and go all out to see that your people are happy, which means what? A king or a prime minister should not be blaming the past events, what happened in the past. Take correct decision, right decisions now, and improve the situation because you are in the power position. That's what you are supposed to do. Improve the life conditions of your people and work for that. Take right decisions. That is the right way to utilize the time of the king, not playing the blame game on the past governance. Okay. Third lesson that he gives, along with these lessons of politics. Insult to women can't be tolerated. He said, because I was in the authority and I was there in that conference room where the insult to Draupadi happened, and that was the beginning of the war. The seed of the war happened that time. He said, if you are the king, if you are in position, never ever tolerate the insult of a woman. Your country will become poor. You will become poor. He says, wherever the woman is not respected, the poverty will take over. If you want to become a rich king, if you want to be an abundant king, learn to respect the divine feminine. And this is one of the biggest secret of abundance if you are interested. Okay. Never tolerate the insult of a woman. Any culture where the insult to the women is tolerated will fall sooner or later. Any culture where woman is respected will win and survive, will become prosperous. Okay. So these are the lessons taught by Bhisma to Yudhishthira. The second lesson, we are on the second lesson. There are three parts that I told you. I'll repeat. Second lesson, don't blame the past, change as per the need. So make the new decisions and never tolerate the insult of the woman. And the main lesson, which is there, part of the second lesson, is the duty of the king. So all these are the duty of the king. To serve the people, not just the administration to collect the taxes. See, politics. Bhisma Pitamah was expert in politics. The king is supposed to collect the taxes. It's part of the duty. But he said the good king is the one who serves the people and not just administering to collect the taxes. The taxes should be collected in a right manner. It should not hurt the poorest person that is there in the country. And the example that he says that the collection of the tax should be such that you are just trimming the hair of a person. My wrong gesture because I have no hair on my head. But he says you should trim the hair, right? I can do it here. This side I got some hair. So trim the hair. टैक्स कितना लेना चाहिए? बाल काटने के जितना. आजकल गवर्नमेंट क्या करती है? गला काटती है. कुछ कुछ गवर्नमेंट तो पेट काट डालती है. 50% इनकम ले लिया. बोलो. अमेरिका में 45% इनकम टैक्स. Oh my God. This is definitely not in line with the natural law. बाल काटने जितना टैक्स लेना चाहिए. बाल काटने से कोई हर्ट नहीं होता है. आजकल तो गवर्नमेंट गला काटती है और पेट भी काट डालती है. Wrong methodology of taxation. People are so much stressed out because of the tax. Why? The kings or the lawmakers, ministers have not learned the lessons from Bhisma. The tax collection should be such that it should not hurt from whom you are collecting the tax. And whatever the tax is collected should be used for the well-being of the people. It should not be eaten away by the ministers. I remember long back, Rajiv Gandhi had made a statement, public statement, that if I give 1 rupee from the Tijori, government funds, only 10 paisa will reach to the needy. 90 paisa chewed away by the people on the way, ministers and the bureaucrats. And this was the fact those days. It is a public statement made, it's recorded. Wrong governance. Whatever tax is collected without hurting the people, that money should be used for well-being of the people. The law says, the political law, that Bhismaniti says that whatever the tax is collected, 75% of that should be go for the defense of the borders, infrastructure development. Nobody should be unhappy. King should provide good road conditions, energy, clean water, communication, all that. 75%. And only 25% of the tax collection, the king should decide what is to be done, which means the distribution of the collection of the money should be done in a proper manner. Certain departments, like the cleaning of the town, should be done by the king, and king should allot, otherwise the people will fall sick. The cleaning has to be done, energy has to be arranged, the water has to be arranged, the infrastructure necessary has to be arranged. So all that should get the priority. Then king should use the 25% for the well-being of the people. This is Bhismaniti, very clearly defined. taxation system extremely nicely defined. I think most of the governments today all over the world are not following this money. 45%, 33%, 45%. See, in India, the highest tax, Vinay ji, kitna hai? 33% hai income tax. Which means what? One third. If you are earning 100 rupees, 33 rupees will go to government. बिस्मा तो बाल काटने की बात कर रही है, तो गला काट रहे हैं. One third of the body cut, which means what? Wrong things. No? And there are wise people who have recommended that we can abolish the income tax. You know, the amount that is collected through income tax is not much. And the number of people paying income tax in India is still low. I think around 5%, much lesser than 10%. Once upon a time, it used to be only 3%. Around 25 years back, only 3% of the population used to pay income tax. And the collection of income tax was so small, but the troubles are so heavy. So even today, the wiser people are recommending government that abolish income tax altogether. No need. When you do the transaction, just charge 1%. That is what is the Bhisma says. Cut the hair without troubling. 1% in the deal you can spare for government, for the good governance. And that will be much more than the income tax. But the government should take decisions to abolish the income tax and go for the 1% transaction tax. No other tax is necessary. One nation, one tax. No income tax, no sale tax, no excise duty, nothing. Just 1% transaction tax, and that money collected will be much more. That is Bhisma Niti. Okay. It's available, it's applicable even today. Somehow, governance, the king should be capable of making decisions in favor of the public, in favor of the people. But if there are people around the king, which are the ministers or the bureaucrats in the modern language, if they are interested in eating the money that is collected by the channels of tax collection and they are becoming richer, then that is the fault and king must punish them. That is Bhishmaniti. You see, most of the time we have seen in India the governance, the king is hand in glove with the ministers and he said the whole chain distributes 90% and the poor fellow will get 10%. And there is so much of imandari in distributing that 90%, and everybody is so happy that nobody talks about the corruption in the system. And this is where I was brought up in India, and I lived my life as an industrialist. I saw all these things happening in front of my eyes. Very, very disgusting. Why? Because the Prime Minister did not read or understand the Bhismaniti. First time India has got Prime Minister who is very well versed with Bhismaniti, well versed with Chanakya Niti, well versed with Vidur Niti, well versed with Krishna Niti. And some right decisions are taken, things are improving. Such a large country, 140 crore people, so many different languages, so many different religions, so many different methods of prayers, panth. Difficult to satisfy everybody. But still our present Prime Minister doing wonderful job. All the decisions, if you see, they are in line with what we are talking. These are wonderful lessons. Okay. So this is not only for Prime Minister. If you are a team leader, it is for you also. If you are a business owner, it is for you. And second lesson, the next sentence is, king must protect the people from poverty, death and disease. That is the dharma of the king. King should be proactively protecting people from poverty, death and disease. And the modern Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi, I have got a lot of respect and gratitude for him. During the corona, our Prime Minister handled the situation absolutely as per the Bhismaniti, and he became the most respected leader of the world. Today also, he is number one, highest marks, almost 70%. because he is following. He is the one leader in the world who is following the lessons learned by Pandavas from Bhisma. So these are the scriptures everybody should learn, everybody should understand and implement. And if you don't know, it's your ignorance and you are responsible for that. That's a bad karma. Ignorance is the bad karma. Okay. And he says, if you follow these duties, see, in the second lesson, there are 5 things. Let me repeat the second lesson, very important. Don't blame the past, change as per the needs, make new decisions. Don't allow the insult of the woman. The duty of the king is to serve the people, not just collect the taxes. And king must protect the people from poverty, death, and disease. Yudhishthira, if you do this, this will lead to the salvation of the king. He said this is exactly in favor of dharma. If you do this thing, when you die, you will attain to moksha because this is the Raj Dharma. This is the dharma of a king. King must behave this way. Amazing insights. If you see, all these lessons are absolutely valid for all the governments of the world. I have seen people are so much stressed out because of the taxation. First of all, the systems are complicated. Common man does not understand. Okay. Income tax department has given the heading Saral form. The Saral is no Saral for a common man. It's very complicated. The system itself is too complicated. You have to have a chartered accountant to understand what you need to pay. Otherwise, you'll be in trouble. So it's not Saral. Just the name is Saral. Otherwise, it's not Saral. Common man doesn't understand all these things. And education is not there. Awareness is not there. Troubles. You see, taxation is one of the stressor. When I was a professor of stress management, I used to teach this thing. And it is unavoidable stressor. See, if you are a businessman, you have to file the return at the right time. But if you are a salaried person, you have got no chance. Your tax is deducted from your salary and only the balance amount comes to you. Okay. See, I had one couple counseling and that lady was complaining that I have been cheated in the marriage. So I took a great interest to understand. People came for counseling. Lady was complaining that I have been cheated by my husband. I said, what happened? My husband told me before marriage that his salary is 50,000. But after marriage, he is giving me only 30,000. He cheated me. He is not earning 50,000. So husband had got the pay slip from the company that he was working and he showed me, see Guruji, my overall package is 50,000. You see this deduction, this tax, that tax, and then my food charges subsidized and this EMI, that EMI. See, all that will be deducted. Whatever comes to my hand, I just hand it over to my wife and she's still so unhappy. Taxation is the biggest stressor, my dear friends. I remember in my first job, during the lunch time, we used to discuss what are the investment opportunities available. 5, 6 of young engineers were there, and we will find out this scheme available, that scheme available, and we will discuss which are the better scheme for investment. And ultimately, none of us would invest anything because our salaries were so low. After all the deductions, whatever came, just took care of our food and travel. So we had no money to invest. So all our ideas of investments, were only the discussions, and nothing was saved, nothing was invested. I'm talking about the effect of taxation. So salaried person has got no chance. Money is deducted. You are all affected. We are all affected because of this. Okay. So if the leaders understand Bhismaniti, all of us will be benefited. Okay. The lesson number 3. no forceful collection that will trouble the people. About taxation, he adds to this as a law number 3. King should not collect the taxes in a way that will trouble the people. It's a very clear statement, very clear lesson is there. Whatever tax is collected this way should be added to the reserves, and you must increase the reserves in a proper manner without wasting the funds collected by the taxation. So how it should be collected, how much should be collected, what should be done, all that is very clearly defined. King must protect the rights of the people, and only 1/4 of the portion of the collected taxes, king has the right to decide. 75%, 3/4 should be decided for the defense, very important portfolio, infrastructure, energy, water, and the basic needs of the people like cleaning and all. Then whatever is left, 1/4, king will decide. Again, that 1/4 also to be used by the king for the well-being of people. That is the way the taxation system should be designed. Just before dying, Bhisma is telling Yudhishthir all these things, because it is important for the governance. Okay, lesson number 4. Selection of ministers. So when you become the king, there are people around you, there is a team. So how to select the team members? How a prime minister should select the team members? How a king should select the ministers? Bhisma says, choose the right ministers who will carry out the duty in a right way, taking care of the prosperity of people and not their own prosperity. Very clear statement. Choose the ministers who will take care of doing their duty rightfully and will take care of the prosperity of the people and not their own prosperity. Only those kind of people should be inducted in the team, not otherwise. But you see, today, there had been cases, very corrupt governance had been there, top to bottom, everybody hand in glove, and the system also in hand in glove, and everybody was so corrupt. And we all, my generation, we were brought up in that very corrupt environment, where people used to feel suffocated because of the system, and systems are overpowering. The last lesson before he died, the king's behavior must be pious, devoted to the path of righteousness. Means should be in favor of dharma. Should be clean-minded, serving God, serving people as God, okay? And follow the righteous path only. Yudhishthira, if you don't follow the path of righteousness, the path of dharma, some Arjuna will kill me like I have been killed, because I did not follow the path of righteousness. So even at the end, at the last lesson, he is again doing repentance. After these lessons, he feels tired and he tells Arjuna that take some mud and put a tilak on my head, because I want to live with the attitude of gratitude for my motherland. At that moment, Krishna intervenes and he says, Pitamah, give me that opportunity to do so. Why? Actually, he wanted Krishna to do this thing, because that is the guaranteed moksha. All that he said as a repentance is like respected, heard by Krishna. And this is the proof of the moksha. He says, Krishna, I wished in my mind that only. But you are the Lord, so I can't order you to do this thing. But as a Pitamah, I can tell Arjuna or Yudhishthira to do that. But you have read my mind. You are an antaryami. And you are doing. So I am so very grateful to you. Now I am very happy that I have completed all the pending things and ready for moksha. And it is said that he went above the Rishi Loka, the highest. Okay. As a Vasu, he was part of that Ashtavasu. And he completed his journey, life journey. In the last few moments, all the bad karmas repented and gave out the best of the best knowledge and passed on to the next generation for the betterment of the country, betterment of the people. The spirit of the lessons is amazing. After this, he does the Om chanting and breathes his last and disappears. Tushar is saying, love the language of heart helps to differentiate between right and wrong action. Mm, to a certain extent, yes, but sometimes you need the knowledge. See, for example, the leader must have the knowledge of the good governance. Only love in your heart will not help. Love in your heart is a must. But the knowledge of the subject is also required to Shastra. Both things are necessary. Venkatesh Shetty is saying, Guruji, but now there is a cultural trend by women to take undue advantage of the situation and they go to the extreme. Bad karma by them. Anybody who is not in favor of dharma will suffer. Okay, so you don't worry, Venkatesh. You don't be worried. See, this is another good attitude we can learn from Bhisma. Karma will take care. Can you leave it to the karma instead of you being worried? That's the right thing to do. Karma will take care. If ladies are taking undue advantage of the law, which is in favor of ladies, and they are troubling men, and I know because I'm into counseling, I have counseled many members of Pidit Pati Club. Do you know? It's very much popular now. Pidit Pati Club, the troubled husbands club. Yeah, there are many. And there are lots of clubs. And I give talks to them many times. They invite me for giving a talk. Earlier days, I was giving talk to Rotary clubs, Lions Club and all. These days, as a counselor, I am invited to Pidit Pati Club. Lots of men are troubled because of their wife's behavior and wrong, false accusations, false cases filed by the ladies just to harass the man, take away his property. It's happening. Karma will take care. Don't worry. Pratyush is saying, Guruji, how can we see Zelensky, Ukrainian president decision of fighting Russia with respect to Bismanati Rajdharma? See, he is a joker. Do you know he was a stand-up comedian and people made mistake of choosing a comedian as a president and people are suffering. People's karma. Don't choose the comedians as a leader. Choose a right kind of person. Modi is a right person. We are very happy. Right now, all of us, all the Indians, if they don't back up Modi and help him to get into the good governance and fight all the trade war that is going on, we are at fault. People of Ukraine are at fault. You are choosing a joker, comedian. We will suffer. The country will suffer. You need a good leader, not just a popular actor or a comedian. There is a place for it. Comedians are wanted. Comedian as a leader is not a good thing. That's why Ukraine is suffering. Almost the country is gone. Tushar is asking, just wondering if AI starts using Bismaniti as its guidelines. We don't have to worry about AI overtaking humanity. Yes, the programming can be done accordingly. All the technology can be used and programmed in a right manner. We should not worry. All right. So that completes all your questions. Thank you very much for joining. I hope you are enjoying these life lessons. Next time, another thing, another great man, some great lessons coming. Okay, we'll continue this series in a very, very long time because there are thousands of such episodes from which we can learn. So many things are there. We can keep learning. Okay, every session will be useful, and I will consider that my time is utilized well if you can pick up and start implementing these lessons in your life. I had been implementing. See, I was inspired by these lessons and I have implemented many of these lessons as a industry owner, as a leader, as a teacher. I have used these lessons many times. Not only that, I've used Bhisma Niti, Krishna Niti, Vidur Niti, all these Niti Shastras for helping people in my counseling. So when I make a decision or when I guide people, all these Nitis are guiding me, and that is why I can make a confident advice to my clients, not unwanted advice. To my clients who want to take my advice, I give in a very confident manner because that is the dharmic advice in line with the dharma. Anything that is in line with the dharma will survive eternally. That is called Sanatan Dharma. So in the coming days, the troubles have already started. Anybody who is in favor of Sanatan Dharma means what? Sanatan Dharma doesn't mean Hindu Dharma, Muslim Dharma, or no. Those are the Panth, those are called the Panth. Sanatan Dharma means something which is eternal. Eternal values are called Sanatan Dharma. So anybody who follows the Sanatan Dharma will survive. The world order will change after 2033. These are the prophecies by many great people. They are there in our scriptures also. So there will be world governance after the World War III, which will end in 2033, and all these nitis will be governing that one governance to the whole world. Okay. I'm sure many of us, if you don't die by the bombing of during the war, World War III, then we will see all these nitis will be implemented in the future. All right. Thank you very much for all your love. I'm enjoying talking because as I talk on this, my life is getting enriched just by sharing. I'm revising all the life lessons and I'm compiling in a proper manner. And the videos are getting edited and going on to the YouTube, which are available freely for anybody. So what you can do is you can pass on the link of the video to those people who need it. You can pass it on to your leaders who are otherwise troubling you, maybe your team leader in your organization or your managing director or CEO. If you feel that governance is not good, you can pass on this lesson. Maybe if the person is good, will learn and your life will improve to that extent. You can pass on the links of my videos to your local politicians who are not governing properly. Let them learn. It's our responsibility. It is our collective responsibility to pass on the good thoughts of good governance in a dharmic manner to everybody around. Not as a matter of criticism, not as an egoistic act, but as a dharmic act. That is eternal. That is Sanatan. And that Sanatan will save to those who follow. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you, Guruji. बहुत बहुत प्रणाम. Om Mangala.
Om Mangala.